Will France support the US being compensated?
I support the idea to have Ukraine first being compensated, because they are the one to have lose a lot of their fellow citizens and being destroyed by these attacks. Second, all of those who paid for could be compensated, but not by Ukraine, by Russia, because they were the one to aggress.
The hypocrisy is beyond me. This is your favorite half Chinese. Please like, share, follow, and also follow my YouTube so I can liberate you. I don't understand that somebody from France, who is a so-called leader, dares to say that Russia needs to pay because they caused the damage. So when are you going to pay, Macron? When are you going to pay the money back to China? And when is the West going to pay back the money to China? Let me just recollect your memory. After the First Opium War was ended by the Treaty of Nanjing, which was signed on August 29, 1842, the treaty required China to pay an indemnity of 21 million to cede Hong Kong to the British and to increase the number of treaty ports where the British can trade and reside from 1 to 5. Well, when is that money getting back, and when is China getting the indemnities for the damage that the British had done to China? When? Oh, all of a sudden, no, right? The hypocrisy of the West is just beyond me. But that's not all, because I already hear you saying, oh, but that's England. Let's go to the Second Opium War. 1860, the content of the Convention of Beijing included China's signing of the Treaty of Tianjin, opening Tianjin as a trade port, cede number 1 district of Kowloon south of present-day Boundary Street to Britain, freedom of religion established in China. So what they meant here by freedom of religion in China, that is just BS, because China already had freedom of religion. They had a lot of different religions like Taoism and Buddhism. Actually, the Qing dynasty were famous for being a part of the Gelug school of Buddhism, the Yellowheads, the one that Dalai Lama is heading right now. And that is, so it is BS to say. But what did they mean by that? What they meant by that was to force the Qing dynasty to accept the church to come into China under protection of the governments that were overseas, not the Chinese government. In other words, they were getting extraterritorial rights. So the Qing dynasty, the legal government of China at that time, was not allowed to touch the church. And because of that, a lot of criminals became members of the church and were indulging themselves in stealing land of other people and then run to the church for protection. That is a part of the history of the church in China, and that is what they call freedom of religion, while it is actually not so free. It was freedom for us, but not for you. As always with the West, when they say it's freedom, they do not mean freedom for everybody. They mean, I can do whatever I want, but you need to live under my rule. That is the Western concept of freedom. British ships were allowed to carry indentured Chinese to America's indemnity to Britain and France, increasing to 8 million taels of silver apiece, legalization of the opium trade. Forcing a nation to legalize opium, which is a drug and is highly addictive, destroying people their lives, destroying the citizens of millions of Chinese people. And in your own country, make it illegal because it's so detrimental to people their health. But forcing another nation to legalize it so you, your people, your drugs dealers can profit from it. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call in the West civilized. This all for a handful of capitalists that they are still serving. Get it really good to your head. In other words, the plantations sometimes change, but not the slave master. When is the 8 million taels that when are you going to give that back, Macron, and give and pay for the damages that your country has caused to China? When? Exactly. When? I really cannot wait for France to go back and hold their own word. Yes, we have done wrong. We have wronged you. But that's not all. Let's go further. After 1901, the 8 alliance nations came. There was actually 13 countries, but originally it was 8. It's actually what I always call the forming of NATO, a true terrorist organization. So they came to China to attack them because, you know, it's easy. After you win, you get everything that you want, and you force those countries to pay for you. That is the mindset of people like Macron. That is why I'm so confused that all of a sudden Russia needs to pay indemnities to Ukraine because they were attacking. When did NATO states ever pay back money to all those countries? In fact, they have been stealing from other countries like Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, name it. Everywhere they go, they are stealing. Not a single penny has been paid to the people to rebuild and to rebuild a great society for these people. These people still living in a living hell, made also by France. So let's get back to 1901. Repair payments have been defined. 450 million table fine silver, approximately 67.5 million British pounds, 300 million US dollars, plus 4% interest. Over 39 years, these were a total of 982, 238, 150 tablets. 34,683 tons of silver for the loss that China had caused to the 8 nations alliance. So let's put it in perspective. So the 8 alliance nations came to China to wage a war, an unprovoked war of aggression against China and the Chinese people. Because China defended against them, they said that the 8 alliance nations suffered damages because of China defending itself against foreign invaders. And therefore China had to pay, was forced to pay. This is one of the reasons why China went from 1/3 of the world economy to number 11 poorest countries in the world. So let me put it in this perspective of now with Russia and Ukraine. So Russia invaded Ukraine. Ukraine is defending, but why is Macron demanding that Russia needs to pay indemnities to Ukraine? I don't quite understand. Because when France was in China, and China lost a war, an unprovoked war against of aggression against China, it was China that had to pay them, not the other way around. So what is the difference now exactly? Do we see the hypocrisy here? The compensation payment were distributed as follows. Russian Empire, 28.97%. German Empire, 20.02%. French Third Republic, 15.75%. British Empire, 11.25%. Empire of Japan, 7.73%. United States, 7.33%. Kingdom of Italy, 5.91%. Belgium, 1.89%. Austria, Hungary, 0.89%. Kingdom of the Netherlands, 0.17%. Spain, 0.030%. Kingdom of Portugal, 0.02%. Union between Sweden and Norway, 0.01%. Yes. So, my question is, Macron, when are you guys going to pay back all that money to China and also are giving them the indemnities for the damage that you guys have caused to China? Because China did not make any damage to the 8 nations. It was the 8 nations that came to China to create damage in China. So why did China actually have to pay again? Why? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Anyway, people, let me know in the comment section what you all think of this. Do you think it's hypocritical? Do you think that the NATO states need to pay indemnities for all the damage that they've caused all over the world? Yes or no? I want to hear that in the comment section, and if you enjoyed this video, then please like, share, and if you have not yet, then follow. This was your favorite half Chinese, and as always, have a great day.